Canada and the United States are approaching another major trade confrontation, and the deadline is now less than 4 weeks away. Prime Minister Mark Carney says retaliation is officially on the table if Canada cannot reach an agreement with the United States before August 19, 2026. That is when President Donald Trump's new 50% tariffs on nearly $20 billion in Canadian goods are scheduled to take effect. After meeting Canada's premiers in Charlottetown, Carney said his government is intensifying negotiations with Washington and will do whatever is necessary to defend Canadian interests. However, he refused to reveal which countermeasures Ottawa is preparing. Carney said there is no reason to retaliate before the deadline because doing so could damage negotiations. But his warning was unmistakable. If the United States moves forward with the tariffs, Canada is prepared to respond. The new American measures were announced on July 20th, when Trump signed 3 proclamations under Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930. This rarely used law allows an American president to impose tariffs of up to 50% against a country accused of discriminating against U.S. commerce. The Trump administration says Canada has treated American vehicles, alcoholic beverages, and dairy products unfairly. Washington points to Canadian tariffs and quotas on American vehicles, provincial restrictions on U.S. liquor, and Canada's protected dairy supply management system. The White House says American vehicle exports to Canada declined by approximately 22% over the previous year. It also says American alcohol sales to Canada fell by about 81% after most provinces removed U.S. liquor from their shelves. However, the products facing tariffs extend far beyond vehicles, alcohol, and dairy. The American lists include wine, whiskey, hockey equipment, milk products, honey, cement, fishing rods, dog leashes, clothing, furniture, electronics, and even swimming pools. The tariffs will apply even when the products qualify under the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement. That means Canadian exporters cannot avoid the additional 50% duty simply by proving that their goods were produced within North America. Energy, potash, fish, and critical minerals are among the major exemptions. Goods already facing separate Section 232 tariffs, including many steel, aluminum, and automotive products, are also generally excluded. The exemptions have created a major disagreement among Canada's premiers. Ontario Premier Doug Ford wants Canada to respond aggressively and match the American tariffs dollar for dollar. Ford has argued that Canadian oil, electricity, lumber, minerals, and potash give the country enormous leverage over the United States. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith strongly disagrees with using energy as a weapon. She warns that Washington could retaliate against Enbridge Line 5, a pipeline that carries approximately 540,000 barrels of oil and natural gas liquids through Michigan before reaching Ontario. A disruption to Line 5 could affect supplies of gasoline, diesel, and aviation fuel in Ontario and Quebec. Smith argues that threatening energy exports could therefore hurt Canada almost as severely as it hurts the United States. British Columbia Premier David Eby has suggested that access to critical minerals could provide Canada with another form of leverage. Alberta and Saskatchewan, however, oppose restrictions on oil and potash exports. This is the central challenge facing Carney. Canada wants to present a united Team Canada position, but every province has different industries, different vulnerabilities, and different ideas about how hard Ottawa should retaliate. If negotiations fail, Canada could impose matching tariffs on carefully selected American products. Ottawa could also introduce procurement restrictions, provide financial assistance to affected Canadian companies, or coordinate additional action with provincial governments. But retaliation would come with costs. American importers would initially pay the new tariffs, but those expenses could eventually be passed to consumers. Canadian exporters could lose orders, reduce production, or face pressure to move operations into the United States. The dispute is also unfolding alongside existing American tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, vehicles, and lumber. Canada has already responded with tariffs of its own, while provincial restrictions on American alcohol have become another source of tension. For Carney, the objective is not simply to sound tougher than Trump. Canada must demonstrate that it can defend its industries without imposing even greater damage on Canadian workers, businesses, and consumers. The August 19th deadline could still produce a broader trade agreement. It could also trigger another round of retaliation between two economies that depend heavily on each other. For now, negotiations are intensifying, the premiers are debating Canada's response, and Carney is keeping every option open. The next 4 weeks could determine whether North America moves toward a new trade agreement or deeper economic confrontation.